you will regret not buying the next dip.
Okay.
It's a confirmed bull market. We have a long way to go. We've already seen stocks that have doubled and tripled year to date, so we know what they can do. And I think you'll regret not buying the next dip of a company that you've missed or don't have enough shares of, or that's new to you, or whatever the case might be. At least that's how I'm playing it.
Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are here at the 2025 Rule Symposium in Boca Raton, and I'm here with Jeff Clark of thegoldadvisor.com. Jeff, thank you for coming back on the show.
Hey, it's great to be here. And you know what? This is a time to be in it to win it.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Okay, I like your newsletter, and I'd recommend anyone check it out at thegoldadvisor.com. I also want to pick your brain on what is your favorite commodity right now over the next 6 to 12 months?
All the above.
Okay.
Definitely gold. You have to be involved in gold. Definitely silver. It's lagging, but I think most of your audience knows it tends to outperform gold before the bull market is over. So you want to be involved in silver. And then copper and uranium have supply demand issues and political support, um, geopolitics that are affecting them. There's a structural supply demand issue with both those metals. So you want to be involved in both of those metals, in my opinion.
Okay, gold, silver, copper, uranium. If you had to pick one, what's your favorite?
Are you really going to make me do that? I mean, really, I guess I'd have to say gold. There's more opportunities in gold. That's clearly a defined bull market. So I guess if I had to pick one, it would be gold. But I'm focused a little less on the metal
Yeah.
and a little more on what mining company out there of any of those metals offers a compelling risk reward uh, uh, potential right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Okay. All right. So would you say that it's confirmed we're in a gold bull market?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
We're a confirmed bull market. Obviously, I think everybody knows the gold price has done well for the past year and a half. But the reason it's a confirmed bull market is because, and it's not just related to Trump's tariffs or something. It started before that. It's rising to issues beyond that. But beyond all of that, we have confirmation because GDX, the gold miners index, is outperforming gold. And GDXJ, the junior index, is outperforming GDX.
Yeah.
So we have perfect confirmation that this is a bull market, which means as investors, we need to be long, we need to be invested. This is our time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking with Rick about this, and he described it as the bullwhip, that the gold moves first, and then you have the majors move. And then after that, you have the mid tiers. And then after that, you got the juniors. And I feel like, we've made a decent amount of money in the majors right now. We're kind of entering that mid tier junior stage. Do you feel similar? What are your thoughts?
That is how it normally happens.
Okay.
But what we have right now is we do have bifurcation in the market. We have some stocks that are just soaring, double, triple, or more year to date.
Yeah.
Year to date. Meanwhile, we have some stocks, some are here, that are sitting on large assets that aren't going anywhere. They're just not moving at all. They might even be down on the year. So what's going on? We have bifurcation there. So what I think it is, and it's from all those ones you just named, those different categories, right? What I think it is what's being rewarded right now is discovery, obviously.
Yeah.
And production.
Okay.
So if you are entering production, if you're gearing up for production, if you're an official pre-producer, meaning you've made a construction decision, that's what's being rewarded right now. So yeah, we have some seniors that are performing well, some are lagging.
Yeah.
And all the way down those categories. So I think it's those two issues right now and where we want to be focused, which means that it's a stock picker's market.
Yeah.
And you have to do your due diligence. If you're not going to do it, you need to follow a newsletter writer. But due diligence is required at this point.
Okay. All right. So the ones that are being rewarded are ones that are making new discoveries,
Mhm.
and ones that are actually producing or going into production.
Going into
Going
production.
into
Yeah, I have
production.
a
Okay.
great chart on that. The stocks that have 1 year before production to present, they're in production now. They're all triples or more.
Hmm.
The ones that are pre-producers, they're not producing yet, but they've made a construction decision, are doubles or more.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have some sitting on big assets, very large gold assets
Yeah.
going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bifurcation we have right now. That'll change.
Yeah.
I think as the mainstream and Wall Street crowd more into our market. But for now, that's where the focus is on those two things.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you see or are you concerned at all about a correction with a coming recession? I mean, looking back at some of the recessions that have happened, usually gold gets hit because it's liquid. Do you have any concerns on that or?
A correction in gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. The average correction from 2001 to 2011, that bull market,
Yeah.
the average correction, believe it or not, was 10.1% of
Oh,
those over 6%.
okay.
So, and there were 20 of them. That's almost two a year
Oh, wow.
during that bull market. So it would not be surprising at all to see gold have a little bit bigger correction here. The biggest correction we've had so far is about 6%.
Yeah.
It's happened twice now, but we haven't had a 10 or 12% correction or more in this bull run yet. So if that happens, don't be surprised because that's what happened in the last bull market,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about a recession. I
Okay.
don't focus on that. I don't try to predict it. The number one indicator for predicting a recession was the inversion of the yield curve.
Yeah.
That happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the number one indicator of, okay, a recession's coming.
Yeah.
Here we are 3 years later, no recession. So I stopped trying to predict it and worry about it.
Yeah.
I just focused on, okay, am I ready for it
Yeah.
personally?
Yeah.
Meaning having enough physical gold, cash, savings, all that. Um, and then speculating on the stocks that if they make a discovery or go into production, they're going to do well, even if we have a recession.
Yeah.
The obvious example there is Snowline Gold.
Yeah.
That's 20x for us. And yet that stock went all the way through COVID and all the scares of a recession, the scares of Trump. It's gone 20x. I think it's actually 21x for us. So there are other examples like that, but that's going to happen. And I'd rather focus on that than worrying about a recession or trying to predict one. It's
Yeah.
going to come, and I want to be prepared for it. And sometimes those recessions are not fun because they hurt people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I have kids.
Yeah.
So I do worry about it a little bit. But, if I'm focused on the right things and being prepared for it, I think we're all much better off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Um, okay. Now, companies that are working right now, we have 4 of them here that are on your newsletter list.
Yeah.
I'd like to run through them if that's
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So I interviewed Banyan Gold.
Yeah.
They would maybe just give us an overview. What do you
Well, they just announced this morning
Yes.
a new resource, 7.7 million ounces now.
Yeah.
7.1 or 7.
Yeah.
Now it's 7.7.
Yeah.
They just put out the first indicated resource, which I believe is, if I remember correctly, is over 4 million ounces.
Yeah.
And then the grade is higher as well. They have a high grade number of ounces that is basically at a gram.
Yeah.
For an open pit.
Yeah. 0.98 gram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At an open pit with infrastructure and power, so wow, they're doing really well. We'll see how the stock responds because gold's down today.
Yeah.
But that's a very positive development for that company. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But you know what? They're one that is a good example of the stock hasn't really done that much, even though they're sitting on a large asset.
Yeah.
So it's going to take, either some M&A or them getting closer to production, or they get bought out, or some other issue that is going to excite the market and really get that stock rolling. I think it'll come,
Yeah.
and so you can still get the stock really cheap right now.
Yeah.
But that's a good example of one that hasn't moved yet.
Now, do you think that this is so? Basically, the way these mines work is they got to find like a good deposit, kind of close to the surface, so that they can show a bank and say, "Hey, look, we can recoup your money." And
Bankable feasibility study,
yes,
right?
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't have to be at surface. It could be underground. It needs to be higher grade if it's underground. The whole issue, though, is economics, and that's more important than the grade.
okay,
How economic is it? Because you could have a high grade mine that's not very economic because the metallurgy is really bad, or it's too deep, or it's not high grade enough. It's all about economics. And so, one thing that I always ask myself, I encourage everyone to ask themselves is this: every press release you see is this a mine in the making?
okay,
Is this mine going to be economic? Now, your answer is going to be subjective,
yeah,
until they actually are a mine. But that's the question you want to have in the front of your mind every time you see a press release. Okay, is this thing going to realistically be economic or not? And if
yeah.
not, you got to sell it, even if you're underwater.
Okay. I remember. Maybe you told me. Maybe someone else. Every news release is actually a sales pitch, and so you got to read through it. And what you're saying is ask yourself the question:
Yeah,
is this going to be an economic mine?
right. That's exactly right. It is a sales pitch. They're always putting their best foot forward.
Yeah.
That's understandable. They're a company. They're trying to promote themselves. They do have a lot of strict guidelines they have to follow, according to the regulations and all that sort of thing. But you can read beyond that by asking yourself, is this going to be economic? And by the way, I always skip to the very bottom of the press release because if there's any bad news or any marginal news, or
Oh.
I skip to the bottom because that's where they're going to put it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there you
Pro tip. Pro
go.
tip. Okay. Do you think that could be a viable starter pit for Banyan?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually more advanced than Snowline is.
Oh
But
yeah.
Snowline's
Yeah.
going to have an infrastructure issue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're
You don't
going to
need a
be fine.
helicopter
They're
to
going to
get
get
to.
right,
Yeah.
right. They're probably going to get bought out. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
But Banyan's a little more advanced in terms of having infrastructure
Yeah.
and mines right nearby it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You can make a cell phone call there. You can drive to it. You have power.
yep,
A little bit of
yep.
infrastructure there. Okay. Dolly Varden. All right. So, Dolly Varden Silver, up in Canada. Macro views on Dolly.
Well, that's a Sean Kun company. I am a Sean Kun fan. I really like him. He's got a funny story of how I put him through the ringer on really researching the company and him and determining whether or not I wanted to recommend it. And it went on for a while. He said I put him through the ringer more than some hedge funds did. So anyway, I really do like the asset, and I really like Sean. What I like about that, they've got a pretty big silver asset there. Is he is really pushing hard to drill that thing out just to see how big it is. We already know it's big,
Yeah.
but he thinks it could be bigger. And there are
Yeah.
some analysts that think it could be 500,000,000 ounces
Wow.
of silver. There's even one analyst that thinks it could be 1,000,000,000 ounces of silver.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but it's clearly going to be very big.
Yeah.
And he is not going to sell it cheaply.
Yeah.
He is going to max it. He's the large shareholder. He wants to maximize his investment, which is great for us as shareholders. So I hold it. It's a key silver holding for us. There'll be a lot of drill results this summer and fall coming out of there, but that's a good one as far as I'm concerned.
You said he's one of the biggest shareholders?
Yes.
Oh.
Of Dolly.
Do you know?
He is a big
Oh,
shareholder.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
My point being that he's not going to just sell it for a 10% premium.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to maximize that sale whenever it comes. So
Okay. Yeah. Because the bigger, he has a vested interest in the company because
right,
he's concerned with what the share price is because he's
right,
got a lot of.
absolutely,
All right. And we just sat through Tectonic Metals.
yeah.
Sat through their presentation. Give us the rundown on that.
I like that company a lot. I did host that breakfast there. That was a lot of fun. I really like Tony, but it's amazing when pardon me, look at all the people that are invested in that. Rick Rule's invested in it. Um, Prescott Capital is invested in it. In fact, they just invested another 2.7 million, I believe it was, in the 12 million financing that just closed. And their principal, Kevin Smith, just wrote a check for $1 million out of his own bank account.
Mm-hmm.
So they clearly believe, this is going to be something. And, Tony made a really good point this morning of how, how the comparison between Tectonic and what he previously ran, Kamenak, the coffee deposit there, um, and how Tectonic looks very similar to that. So there's a lot of potential there for this thing to get bigger. They may be putting out a resource next year, it sounds like. But this year is all about drilling. 3 rigs are turning right now. We'll have lots of drill results, assay results starting next month, all the way through the fall, maybe even into next year. And then they'll start working on that resource estimate. So, this is probably not a 1,000,000 ounce deposit, meaning it's probably 2, 3,
Oh, okay.
maybe even 5. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because some of the gold deposits up there are very big.
Yeah.
And, they've already been doing metallurgy and several stages of metallurgy. So they're planning for this to be a mine.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable being overweight that stock.
Okay. Okay. And one thing he mentioned was up there, you have, back in the Ice Age, you had glaciers that came down, right?
Yeah.
And so it kind of almost looked, it was almost like a snowplow, right?
Yeah. Right.
Pushing the ground. And so you have to
down.
be careful when you take surface samples
Right.
that you're not picking it up from over here when actually the deposit was way back here.
Started over there.
Yeah, right. And
Exactly.
they've done both of that and drilled, and they've realized, okay, we're not sitting on a mound over here that was moved. They're on virgin.
Chicken Mountain's over here where a lot of the placer gold was. Now they're drilling over at Alpha Bowl. But you know what? They've drilled both places and they've hit gold in every single hole they've drilled.
Okay.
But that's a great point. Just because the soil is returning good, strong grades of gold doesn't mean the deposit is necessarily directly underneath.
Yeah.
That's true.
But since they've drilled there, they have found gold in every hole.
Yep.
So this shouldn't be the case, right? That shouldn't be the case that
they don't think it's glaciated.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's an important point.
Yeah.
They think it's not, which means there could be several deposits there where they're drilling.
Yes. Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding here. We'll see.
Yeah.
With the drills turn up, but that's what they're, that's their theory at this point based on their results to date.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's what I got from that. I just wanted to ask a pro like yourself to make sure I wasn't crazy. Okay. We also have Vizsla Silver here.
Vizsla Silver, boy, that stock's done really well. That's a core holding for us. We follow it. We all own it. We're overweight that stock. So, but it's done very well because that's a huge deposit despite being in Mexico. There's been this big Mexico scare, and yet some of these Mexican stocks have actually risen since she came out and made those comments, which, to be honest, if you read the comments, they're not that much different than what she's already said.
Okay, so Claudia Scheinbaum, maybe just give the viewers just an overview of what you're talking about.
Well, she came out and she's been kind of silent on what mining permits and things like environmental stuff is going to be like in Mexico. She finally came out. It's been a couple of weeks now, but she made comments about, no new concessions.
Yeah.
Well, the no new concessions language was in the previous thing that she had run her campaign on and said when she became president. So the implication there is you want to make sure you're investing in a company that already has permits, or can easily get them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to crack down. I think they want to probably say no to a company or two to kind of show,
politically show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe go after a mine that's really environmentally irresponsible. And maybe they should go after something like that, right? But in the big picture, the concern is less than what I think the scare was. And the proof of that is when you look at stocks like Heliostar, Luca, Vizsla Silver, these stocks have done really well. despite her comments.
Yeah.
So, and Vizsla Silver is one of those. So that's a very big asset. They're pushing forward both exploration and some development. Long way to go there. Still a big asset. So that's a core holding for us for the entire length of the silver bull market.
Okay. Okay. And so she's saying that there's going to be no new permits on open pit mining,
No new concessions.
no new concessions.
Yeah, which is like a claim.
Okay.
You know, you can't go out and stake a claim of new land. You know, she doesn't want to do that. So again, you need to look for companies that have already have claims
Yeah.
and already have permits to either drill or produce or whatever the case might be.
Okay.
So it doesn't scare me off as long as I'm looking at a company that has those.
That's got it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And what is their mine going to look like? Is it going to be a big open pit? Do they have an underground plan? What's this?
Well, we don't know the full answer to that yet, but so far that is mostly underground. There could be an open pit component to it. There probably will be, quite frankly.
Okay.
But think about this. That's going to be a big operation. It's going to produce a lot of silver whenever they get there, which is years off, by the way. She could be out of office by the time it goes into production. But they're going to produce a lot of silver, which means they're going to generate a lot of tax revenue for the government.
Yeah.
They're going to employ a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands if you count contractors, which pay taxes. So, and it keeps the locals happy because they have jobs. So there's a couple things going on there that could actually work against this, belief that, oh, we can't invest in Mexico anymore. That's simply not true. You have to look at each individual situation, each individual company. But Vizsla's one I think that'll be fine.
Okay. All right. It's going to do well.
Yeah.
Right on. Any closing thoughts? Anything I should have asked that I didn't? Anything you want to tell the viewers?
Oh, I think a correction is coming, but you know what, Steve? I think it could be just as much in time as it could be in price.
Yeah.
Meaning that maybe gold doesn't crash to 2,500, maybe it doesn't even go to 3,000 again, but it goes nowhere for several months.
Yeah.
And that way, the moving averages and all that stuff catch up, and that could be your correction.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. I'm saying that's what it could be.
Yeah.
And so I think here's my theme. You will regret not buying the next dip.
Okay.
It's a confirmed bull market. We have a long way to go. We've already seen stocks that have doubled and tripled year to date, so we know what they can do. Yeah. And I think you'll regret not buying the next dip of a company that you've missed or don't have enough shares of, or that's new to you, or whatever the case might be. At least that's how I'm playing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot of, I'm a chartist, so I look at the charts and I see a lot of, the same thing. I think this could be kind of sideways action, waiting for the moving averages to come up and catch it. And when you look at past gold bull markets, they almost always get right around that 200-day moving average, which right now, I'm putting myself on the spot. Math in public isn't fun, but 2,900, 3,000, somewhere around there. And I really think that it's, like you said, a correction in time would make perfect sense for it to form out this kind of sideways bull flag and just catch it and move on to the next leg up to around 4,000 or so.
Yeah,
but
I think so. Historically, if you look at the gold price throughout the year, I've averaged it since going all the way back to 1970 to present through last year. And the bottom of the market is right now, on average. So
okay.
Now,
well, that's cool.
Watch me be proven wrong, or actually not me, history. Maybe this time it has run up a lot, so maybe the correction is bigger this time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm actively buying is all I can tell you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, Jeff, if viewers want to get a hold of you and follow your work, how can they do so?
Well, how would you like to get a free mining stock newsletter with picks that we own for free? That's what we do at thegoldadvisor.com. There's stocks that we personally own and we cover, and we provide free analysis just like you would get in a paid newsletter. And it's all for free. You just got to sign up. We don't do any spam or any selling your email or anything like that. So And then we have a paid newsletter as well, which goes for a little bit earlier stage stuff, that might have bigger potential. And then Peter and I both have books. Peter focuses more on silver. I'm more on the other metals. But we both have books on the website. So we've got a ton of resources, a new website that's rocking and rolling. We really like. So we're ready to go.
Yes, yes. Thegoldadvisor.com.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you for coming back on the
Great.
show.
Thank you,
Always a
Steve,
pleasure.
for having me. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And thank you for tuning in. Go to stevebartonmoney.com for more and have a wonderful day.